What's good, everybody? It's Joe, and I come back at you on another video. So for this video here, I wanted to title this one, "You Have the Freedom to Choose." And what I mean by that is that at any moment, at any point in your life, you have the freedom to choose. You have the freedom to decide what direction you want to go and wherever it is that you want to head towards. The reality for a lot of people is that they need to wait until the ball drops, right? Midnight on December 31st, going into New Year's, for them to write down their New Year's resolution as far as the direction they want to go and what they want to do with their brand new start. Not knowing, not acknowledging, not being aware, understanding that literally at any moment is a fresh start for you, because the moment right now, as you're watching this video, this exact moment is going to be no different than when the ball drops for New Year's. It's still the exact same moment, which is now. And the now is always going to remain consistent because the past happened, the future has yet to come, right? And the only thing that we can control is always now, because it's always this moment. So this moment never changes. People just decide to procrastinate and wait until New Year's to say, hey, brand new year, brand new me, brand new energy, let's begin to tackle this, when in actuality, for the recording of this video and when the video get posted, right, from now until New Year's, that's several months that that person could have taken action or began pursuing whatever it is that they want to pursue, but instead they decided to delay it. So you have the freedom to choose. You have the freedom to change your behavior, to decide on the person you want to be, decide on the terms that you want to live, and you can begin taking strides towards that, right? The interesting part about it, because you have the freedom to choose, you are actually so free that you could choose bondage if you wanted to. Now, what do I mean by that? So there was actually an interesting video that I seen a long time ago. It was with David Goggins. So those of you who aren't familiar with David, he's a former Navy SEAL. He was, in his younger days, he was essentially overweight, and he decided to become a Navy SEAL, and he ended up doing all of the Navy SEAL training. So he's like the crazy fitness guy that every single day he runs at least like 5 miles or more each and every day. Like he's that fitness motivational, inspirational guru guy that, like, it's all over the internet, right? David Goggins, everyone knows him. I remember there was a clip of a man who was extremely overweight that he got to meet David Goggins in person. I guess David Goggins was probably doing some sort of like conference, or they met, and essentially this person was frustrated, anxious. Like, you can tell they were nervous, scared, and they wanted to make a change in their lives because they were fed up with being overweight. They were fed up with they wanted to improve their health. And so the guy looked like he was having borderline an anxiety attack. And David, he told the man, he said, listen, take a deep breath. So the guy took a deep breath. David looked at him and said, in your home, do you have a floor? So the guy looked at him confused and said, yeah, of course I have a floor. He said, okay, so that means you can do push-ups, right? He asked the guy, do you have shoes? The guy says, yes. He's like, okay, so that means you can go for a walk. So in that person's mind, that person that needed help, the man that was overweight, in his mind, he chose bondage because he felt that there was no answer, there was no solution to the problem that he faced, when in actuality there was, right? David presented to him very straightforward, obvious potential solutions or plan of action that he could take, right? But the guy, he just felt so trapped. He felt like he didn't have anything, like that there was just no solution in sight, because the curtains were covering his view, is covering his vision, and obviously figuratively, right? And so that's when David told him, like, listen, you have what you need right here. Like, you can get started. You may not lose 200 pounds in the next hour, in the next day, in the next month, right? But you can still incrementally make progress. And that's what's most important, right? So this is what I mean when, you have the freedom to choose, because you have the freedom to choose everything in your entire life. Like where you're at now is based on your decisions, based on your choices. Whether you want to accept that to be true or not, where you're at in your life right now is based on all the choices that you've made. It brought you to this position. And now you're at the crossroads, right? Thankfully, you're blessed regardless of where you're at, regardless of the position that you're in. You're blessed because in this moment, you can make the decision. You can decide on which direction you want to head towards, right? You can decide if everything's great and your life is well, then congratulations, right? If you can continue going down the right path, like I'm genuinely happy for you if everything is going well. If you're someone who wants to make a change and you're unhappy with where things are, then you also have the freedom to make that change as well. You have the freedom to decide the direction that you want to head towards in your life, right? Ultimately, you have the freedom to choose. You could believe that there's no opportunities and that you're trapped and you're stranded in whatever situation that you're in, and you can believe that your situation is fact, that your situation is the end all be all. And there's other people that look at the situation and smile and laugh because they know that that's not representative of who they are and where they're headed, right? You can literally look around at everything that's going on in your situation, in your environment, and your life, and laugh and say, this is how things may be in this current moment, but that's not how things will be for the rest of my life. That's not how things will be in the near future, right? Because things are going to change rapidly for me, and I'm going to be in a much better situation, and everything's going to be taken care of. You can choose to believe that, or you can choose to believe that there's no opportunities and that the predicament or the position that you're in is just where you're at and where you're going to be. You have the freedom to choose. Once again, you're so free that if you wanted to, you could choose bondage. And there's many instances where people may not be aware of it, but they choose that because they don't decide to put the energy towards what it is that they do want out of life and where they want to head to, and decide on what actions that they can take to get there. Even if you have a goal, a destination in mind, even if you can't see the path clearly, there's still things that you can do to still head in that direction, to still head on that path, to slowly make way, right? If this were a drive, say you're going from New York to Florida, right? It's pretty much going south, complete, like straight south. It doesn't matter if I'm on a plane, on a car, on a boat, on a bike, or even just walking. If I head south in that direction, I'm still making progress. And at some point, if I commit myself to getting there, I will get there, regardless of my speed. If I'm committed to getting there, I'll get there. And you can make that decision too, right? Success is always one decision away. So you have the freedom to choose. You have the freedom to decide on what you want out of your life and the direction that you want to head towards. So hopefully with this understanding, right, you'll take time to decide on what it is that you want out of life, where it is that you want to head to, and make that decision to head in that direction. So once again, as a final reminder, you have the freedom to choose. You have the freedom to decide where it is that you want to go. So hopefully you take that freedom of choice and work it in your favor and have it work for you to put you on the right track to head in the right direction. So once again, it's Joel, and I'm out. See you guys for the next video.